Welcome to episode 5, season 6 today. My name is Rosemary Osei-Kofor. Today happens to be storytelling. Do you have a story or you want to listen to someone's story? Do you know that there's a story behind every child? Every child has a unique story. Just like everybody has a unique fingerprint, every child has a unique story. And today happens to be the storytelling. We are privileged to have the Kate Consult in our midst to help the children. We are going to celebrate the children by selecting 4 children and publish their books and help them to write. Still, Rosemary Osei-Kofor, and you are watching Young Public Speakers. Stay tuned and watch more.
The day the talking goat came to school. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all in here present. My name is Adelaide Akosua-Kofor. I am 13 years old. I'm YPS 28. Please vote for me. Hi everyone. Today, I'm here to tell you about something that happened in my school. So, on one hot Monday morning, the sun was shining like fire. I was late again as usual. The heel of my school shoe had removed. So I was hopping like a frog, all the way to Standard Foundation. When I reached there, everybody was outside, shouting, laughing. What's going on? I imagine. Right there at the middle of the school compound was a big brown goat with a fat stomach and a small bell on its neck. It was standing straight at our teacher, Sir Stephen. Then suddenly, colleagues and judges, here gathered, the goat opened its mouth and said, "Good morning, sir." Hey! Everybody screamed, yeah, and ran away. Even Sir Stephen dropped his marker pen and hid behind the headmaster's office. But me, I didn't run. Maybe because my legs refused to move. Or maybe I wanted to see what would happen next. Then the goat turned to me and said, "Adelaide, why are you late again?" Because before I could faint, the goat said, "I know everything that happens in the school. I'm the spirit of discipline." Before I could shout, "Yesu," the goat had trotted into the classroom. It took a stick with its mouth and went to the board and wrote, "Next time, be punctual." All my friends were peeping through the window, whispering, "The goat teacher, the goat teacher." When Sir Stephen came back, still shaking like a leaf, then the goat bowed and said, "Sir, please, these children must learn to respect time." Then dropped the stick on the floor and walked out proudly like a headmaster. Since that day, nobody in my class came to school late, even me. When my morning bell clock rings, I jump out of bed fast because we don't know whether the goat is still watching us. Audience, guess what? I jump out of bed to realize that it was all a dream. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. I had to bow my head to really listen very well. So later, I had to also look at it to see how best to engage with the audience. Very good story. I liked how you had to change your tone as to when you're having a certain expression. Very excellent work done. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am here to tell you about something that happened to me one Monday morning. That day, I nearly turned invisible from shame. Anyway, my name is Jewel Kojo Etia. I am 10 years old. I am YP29. So I woke up late and my father was shouting, "Jewel, you will miss the bus." I jumped out of bed like a frightened chicken. Mistake number 1. I wore it, brushed my teeth halfway, grabbed my bag, and zoomed out like Usain Bolt. When I reached school, everything was fine, or so I thought. During assembly, the headmaster said, "Hands up and stretch." So I stretched like I was reaching heaven. Then rip, my people, my trousers tore right in the middle. My best friend stared at me and said, Everyone, Jira's trousers has opened its mouth. Then the whole school started laughing like mad people. I tried to walk quietly to the back, but the more I walked, the more my trousers kept tearing. Then I ran to the washroom as fast as I could. I stayed there until my teacher came, laughing small. She said, Jure, next time wear something your size. When I got home, my mother just stared at me and shook her head. She said, so you've become a walking concert now. Since that day, every Monday morning, my father shouted, Jure, check your trousers before you leave home. Fellow contestants and judges, that is how I learned. Don't rush in the morning, else your trousers will disgrace you in public. Thank you.
I like how you started your story. However, I would advise that you engage with your audience. Okay, you did so well. I like the tone you used, and also I like how confident you were. But you were not engaging your audience. You were just looking up like that. Your eyes were fixed there. I don't know what you were looking for over there, but I think that was your strategy for remembering what you've forgotten. But please, you look for another strategy. Okay. All right. But in all, I like the story, and then I like the tone that you were using. Okay. Thank you very much, Jim.
Good morning, judges, ladies and gents. My name is Ampelia Juchime, and I'm YP51. The name of my story is Seeing Through the Unseeable. One day on a bus, a little girl was going to a location with her mother. She told her mother, Mommy, my legs hurt. The mother started to worry, thinking that she had an issue with her legs. She looked to the nearest seat and saw that everyone was filled, but there was one where a youngster was sitting. So she tapped the youngster. Unbeknownst to her, the youngster had earplugs in his ears, so he didn't hear. So the second time that she called him, the mother insulted the youngster, calling him useless and impudent. After that, the mother persuaded the youngster to get up to let her daughter sit because her legs hurt. At first, the youngster was being resistant, saying that he couldn't get up. After the daughter told her mother a second time that her legs hurt, then that's when the youngster got up. Unbeknownst to the mother, the youngster was amputated, so he had only one leg. So he got off the seat and then he sat aside. The girl sat on the seat, and then after some time she thought to herself, starting to feel guilty. So she looked at the youngster, then she looked at her mother, thinking through again. After that, she told her mother to hold her bottle for her. Then she went to where the youngster was and said, Sir, it's okay. I don't need to sit anymore. You need the seat more than me. So later, she got off the seat and she let the youngster sit. However, the mother was infuriated, so she blasted the little girl. Once they got off the bus, the mother asked the daughter, Why did you do that? The girl said, Because I was able to see through what you are not able to see. The man was amputated, yet he had to give up his seat for me, yet I have two legs. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pelio. How are you doing? Wow. Thank you very much for your presentation. I believe you have given us a very good message. Okay, I like the content. It's very well structured. And I like the fact that we're able to flow with your presentation. Okay, you delivered so well. I like the aspect of um, where you described and give us more detail. Okay, and I think it's very impactful. Okay, very creative. All right, thank you.
Ago. Good day, everyone. My name is Albani Amaka, and I'm here to present my story. The title of my story is The Fox and the Rabbit. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a fox and a rabbit. They were close friends and lived together in a small hut beside a well. One day, the fox got so hungry that he wanted to eat the rabbit. But once the rabbit got to know about that, he thought to himself, if I let this fox go, he'll eat me for sure. How can I trick him? I can use the well. So the next day, when the fox chased him, the rabbit ran to the most nearby well, and then he shouted to the fox, "Look, there's another fox that's trying to eat me, and he won't share." When the fox peered over, he saw his reflection, but mistaken it to be another fox. When he jumped inside the well, he now realized that it was his reflection, and he drowned down sadly in dismay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You gave us a very interesting story. What I was expecting from you was certain sounds that the characters could have made. That would have made your story go a little um, more and interesting. But in all, you did so well. I like the story content. But I hope that you take notice of the sounds of characters and include them in your story. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Temiloluwa Ogumbi, and today I'm here to tell you a story, and the title is Dodorina the Singing Bird. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful blue jay bird called Dodorina, and she loved to sing. And when she sang, her voice would be heard miles away. When the king had a special party, Dodorina was the only one called to sing. But one day, when Dodorina was asked to come sing, and they sent Atrina to go and get her, Dodorina said she was busy. But Atrina said, "Don't you know the rule? Anybody that disobeys the king, whatever he says against them will happen immediately." Dodorina said, "Please go out the door. I said I'm busy. The king knows that I must have at least 1 day's notice before he asks me to come sing." Atrina slowly went out of the door because she was afraid. She was afraid for Dodorina because she had already broken the rule. And when the king heard this, he was furious. He took his spear and hit it on the ground, saying, "From now on, Dodorina shall never sing in this kingdom ever again." And when Dodorina woke up that morning, she couldn't find her voice. She tried to sing, "Coo, coo." It didn't work. She tried again, "Coo, coo." It didn't work. She went to her mom and dad. They tried everything, but it also didn't work. She went to her friends and her grandmother. They tried everything, but it also didn't work. Her only option left was to go to the sorcerer of the king. She slowly flied to the king's palace, trying to avoid him. Then she quickly ran into the sorcerer's room and asked for help. "Sorcerer, sorcerer, I need your help. I'm not able to sing anymore." The sorcerer said, "That must be a lie. That must be a lie. Let me hear your voice." The Dorina tried to sing, "Coo, coo." It didn't work. The sorcerer said the only way she could fix her voice was to find 3 stones that had never been stepped on. The Dorina set off on her journey. She wandered around for 5 days and 5 nights, but she couldn't find any 3 stones that had never been stepped on. Then she realized that the sorcerer was trying to teach her a lesson, that she lost her voice not just because the king was angry at her, but because she was too proud. So she journeyed back to the palace, and when the sorcerer looked back and saw her face, he knew that she had learned her lesson. She went to the king's palace and bowed down and asked for forgiveness. Oh king, please would you forgive me? I know what I have done is wrong. I know I am too proud, and if I may never sing again, that is okay. But I just came to ask for forgiveness. The king looked up above her and said, Dodorina, I do forgive you, but as your punishment for doing this, so you learn your lesson. You shall not sing until the next 100 years. Dodorina said thank you and went back home. The end. Moral lesson: it's never good to be proud.
Hello everyone, my name is Sebastina Atto, and today I'm here to present to you a story titled Amelia's Confession. Amelia loved pastries, but her favorite pastry was cake, so she couldn't hold back her excitement when she went to school and saw that her friend, Melody, had brought a small chocolate cake. That afternoon, everyone went out for recess, but Amelia snuck quietly into the class, making sure that nobody saw her. She tiptoed all the way to Melody's bag, slowly opened it, put her hand inside, and took out the chocolate cake. Mmm, this cake smells so good, Amelia said to herself. Amelia slowly started to eat the cake, relishing every bite she took. When she finished, Amelia felt full. But she felt another feeling. She felt guilt because she knew that she wasn't supposed to take what was in hers. When everyone came back from recess that afternoon, it was snack time. Melody wailed, I can't find my cake. Where is it? Um, Everyone started to look around for it in hopes of finding it, but nobody saw anything. Melody started to cry. I was really excited to eat my cake this afternoon, but I can't find it. Then the teacher, Miss Davis, began to comfort her. Sorry, Melody, we can't find your cake, but surely we will get one for you tomorrow. Melody cried all the way home. That evening, when Amelia got home, she asked her mother, "Can I speak to you?" Her mother said, "Yes, sure. What is on your mind?" Amelia said, "This afternoon I stole a cake from Melody's bag, but I feel bad about it because she was really excited to eat it, but I also wanted to eat it." Then Amelia's mother told her, "Don't worry. It takes courage to admit your mistakes. Um, but the correct thing to do is to apologize to her tomorrow and tell your teacher about it." Amelia Amelia nodded. The next day at school, Amelia walked up to Melody. Melody, I need to tell you something." Melody said, "Sure, what is it?" Amelia said solemnly, "I'm so sorry. I took your cake yesterday because I really wanted to eat it. It looked really delicious." Then Melody thought for a minute. "I'm not upset at you, but you should have told me you wanted some. I wouldn't have hesitated to share with you." Then then Amelia smiled softly because she was happy that her friend didn't shun her. Then Melody said, "You should tell Miss Davis so that she knows who took it, so that we can tell her about this situation together." Then Amelia said, "Okay." They went into class together and walked up to Miss Davis' desk. "Miss Davis, we need to tell you something," they said they said in unison. Amelia took your cake yesterday," Melody said. And Amelia said, "I am so sorry. I didn't mean to make Melody cry, but now we have resolved our differences." Then then Miss Davis congratulated both of them for being able to solve the problem themselves. Then Miss Davis stuck her hand in her bag and took out a small chocolate cake. "Because of what happened yesterday, I decided to buy you a chocolate cake, Melody," said Miss Davis. Melody turned to Amelia and asked, "Would you like to share this cake with me?" Amelia said, "Yes, please." Then they both enjoyed the cake. The end.
Good evening, judges, teachers, fellow contestants, parents, all protocol observed. My name is Kamela Impema Sandua. I am 7 years old. I am in grade 2. The title of my story is The Snake and the Frog's Promise. In a quiet forest Near the edge of the river lived Menu, a sleek green snake, and Energy, a cheerful frog with a loud crow. One dry season, the river began to shrink. Water was scarce, and animals grew desperate. Energy, who lived near a hidden spring, promised to share it back only with those who act kindly. Menu, proud and silent, slated past Energy every day, thirsty but unwilling to speak. One day, Menu grew weak. He finally whispered, "Please, Energy, may I drink from your spring?" Energy nodded. "Of course, friend." All you had to do was ask. Menu drank deeply, and from that day on, he greeted Energy with a loud croak. He greeted Energy with a polite hiss and a nod. The moral lesson from my story is pride may keep your throat dry, but kindness opens every spring. Thank you.
Can you come again with your moral lesson? I did not.
Pride may keep your throat dry, but kindness opens every spring.
Thank you very much. I like the story and then your moral lesson. I also like how you delivered and how you engaged with the audience. But I would advise that next time when you said he whispered. So when he's whispering, say so that we can know how the story is. When someone is whispering, you hardly hear. Do you understand? So that's the only thing I find in your story, or any. That's the only mistake I found there. Okay. So please, next time you work on it. But regardless, you did so well. I like the tone too of the voice. Okay. Thank you very much, Camille.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a girl called Marilyn Adobia Bekwendako. YP21 is my code, and I am 9 years old. I am excited to share one of my story with you that have the Talking River as the title. One Once upon a time, there was a village called Asempire. There was a river, and the villagers thought it was not a good source of water, so they did not fetch water from it. But imagine, there was one family called the Amansi family who fetch water from it to do all their house chores and even drink from it. Because of that, the villagers did not like them. Could you imagine what they did to them? They did not talk to them, play with them, or even sell their things to them. So they go to the nearby village to buy what they need. One day, the villagers summoned the Amansi family and he decided to burn the Amansi family because they see them as evil and disrespectful people. On that fateful day, they decided to burn the Amansi family. The river got angry and overflowed its banks and went straight to the village square to warn the chief and his people not to do anything to the Amansi family. From that day, they respected the Amansi family, sold their things to the Amansi family, and started playing with them. The moral lesson from my story is we should love our natural resources. Thank you.
What I want to really applaud you for was the way you got my attention with the way you started. The tone was very good. In terms of the vocabulary too, it was very on point. What I was looking out for was some descriptive details because you are talking about a river. So you could have given us maybe some description as to how even the water was even flowing. That could have given us a very clear, but Aside that, that's a good job. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Albert Bakondaku Jr. is my name, and my code is YPS 40, and I am 6 years old. I have a nice and interesting story to tell you today, and the title is The Lazy Anansi. Once upon a time, there lived an animal called Anansi, who was very, very lazy, but had many friends. When he wakes up, he does not do anything, not even cooking to eat. He moves from one friend's house to another to eat whatever they prepared. One day, he was going for a meeting and he saw Rabbit cooking rice. He went there and ate as well, and he continued his walking to the meeting. When he got to Goat's house, he saw him cooking potatoes and went there to eat as well. Hey, lazy Anansi, will you continue to eat from your friend's house? On his way, he smelled another aroma of green vegetables, and he ended up entering the house of Dog, and he continued his walking to the meeting, not knowing Dog was behind him. From that day, Anansi refused not to be lazy again. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Adubia Bekwindako, and my number is YPS 9, and I am 9 years old. I have the love for reading stories and listening to stories. So today, I have my own one to tell you today. Has God the Stubborn King as my title. Long, long ago, in an animal forest, God was the king of all animals. As God grew old, he could easily forget things and issues. So one day, the animals met and decided to elect a new king. Guess who won the election? Cat won the election. Every year, the, every year, the animals sent some of their farm harvest to the king's palace. Goat refused. Do you know why? Because God said that he will be king forever. So the animals met again and planned to tie a rope around Goat's neck and pull him to the king's palace. 3 days after the meeting, Goat was tied and being pulled to the king's palace, and he was banished for a year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At the beginning, I was thinking you were afraid, but your delivery shows that you were not afraid. You did very well. Congratulations for this story. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Malia Abdul Razak, a 7-year-old learner from Rising Child Academy with a nominee code YP35. Today, I am excited to share with you a story entitled What is Right for One is Right for All. There lived a family with 2 children, Ekia, a bright and hardworking girl, Kojo, her younger brother, who loved to play and explore. Their mother and auntie had always believed that girls do the chores at home while boys are free to study, play and enjoy themselves. Ekia, you must cook, clean and sweep every day, she would say. This is how your mother and I were brought up. Kojo, go and play. You are a boy. You don't need to worry about these things, her auntie added. At first, the unfair treatment at home began to take its toll. At first, Ekia tried to accept it, hoping one day her mother would notice her hard work. But as the days went by, she felt increasingly alone and unheard. She wanted to talk to her mother and auntie about her hurt feelings, but every time she tried, she was ignored. Kojo sometimes teased Ekia when she asked for help. He believed what his mother had taught him. Girls do the work, boys don't. Eke had a lot to do, washing dishes, sweeping the floor, and even cleaning the mess that Kojo would make. Kojo played outside and had time for his studies, whilst Eke struggled with hers. At school, the unfair treatment at home began to take its toll. Eke felt exhausted from all the chores and housework. She would sleep in class, forget assignments, and get upset with her classmates over small things. Her normally bright and attentive mind now struggled to focus. Her teacher noticed her change and grew concerned. Ekia, she said gently, you are a smart girl, but you seem so tired and unhappy. Can we talk? After hearing Ekia explain, she decided to invite her mother to school. When her mother came, she was shocked. She saw the impact of her parenting style and favoritism. Her daughter was stressed, tired, and her performance was slipping. She saw the gravity of what she has been doing. She saw how her actions had harmed Ekia's confidence and education. Slowly, her mother began to change. Kojo was asked to help with chores and learn responsibilities and respect. Ekia felt valued, supported, and now able to focus on her studies again. The siblings grew closer, learning to cooperate, support each other, and treat one another fairly. The moral lesson of my story is gender should never determine rights or duties. Inequality can harm relationships, even with.
Good day, everyone. My name is Asma Idris from Rising Child Academy. I am 7 years old. I am YP15. Today, I am going to tell you a story entitled The Boy Who Built His Own Dream. In a warm savannah village in northern Ghana, near tall baobab trees and golden grass, lived a cheerful boy named Azindo. Azindo loved to build things with his hands. One bright morning, Azindo stood beside the white baobab tree and said, "Today, I will build the best tree house ever." In his head, he knew exactly what it would look like, a cozy, round room made of smooth, light brown wood. It would sit high up where the dry wind could whisper through the branches. He climbed the tree and started to build. His hammer went tap, tap, tap as he worked joyfully. Soon, some of the other children from the village came by. Zuleha shouted, "That brown wood is boring. Everyone uses bright red wood now." Yakubu laughed at Azindo's round roof. "A proper tree house needs a sharp roof," he called out. More children came, all telling Azindo what to do and saying his ideas were wrong. Azindo's brave heart began to feel small. He didn't want them to laugh at him, so he stopped building what he loved and started building what they wanted. For 3 whole days, Azindo worked, but he wasn't happy anymore. He painted the wood red, but it looked odd. He took off the round roof and put on a pointed one, but it leaked when just a little bit of rain fell. The treehouse was a confused, messy place. It didn't feel loud or special. Azindo felt frustrated and tired. One afternoon, he sat quietly under the tree. The old wise man, Tindanomoro, walked by. He looked at Azindo and then at the strange mixed-up treehouse. Tindanomoro said kindly, "My son, if you only change things to make others happy, you lose your own heart. You get stuck in your own life." The words were like a gentle breeze. Azindo suddenly understood. He had let the voices of others control him. The next morning, Azindo woke up with new strength. He climbed the tree and said out loud, "From today, I am building what I love." He scraped off the red paint to show the strong brown wood. Then he built a soft round roof exactly as he first imagined it. When the children came back and whispered that the roof was too round or the color was wrong, Azindo didn't mind them at all. He just smiled and kept climbing into his tree house. Now, he knew a great secret. When you try to please everyone, you lose yourself. But when you follow your own heart, you build something true and beautiful. And up there in his round brown tree house, Azindo felt free. Thank you.
I want to be that boy in the story. Thank you very much.
Respected judges, parents, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Abdulrazak Abdulhamid is my name, a 10-year-old learner of Rising Child Academy, and my nominee code is YP30. Honorable judges, I am in your midst today to share with you a story with a title, The Man Who Listened Too Little. In a bright and bustling kingdom, there was a young and brave man named Hanan. He had fought many battles, solved many problems, and achieved great things for himself. Everyone, everyone admired his courage and cleverness. He dreamed of more power and glory. Nothing can stop me, he would always say, proudly beating his chest. But as he rose higher, he began to forget something important. To be humble, careful, and wise. But there were those who envied him. A group of his friends, jealous of his rising power, secretly planned to kill him. They called for a meeting at the palace. One evening, a wise old adviser warned him, "Young man, be careful. Trouble may be coming, and not everyone is as loyal as they seem." But Hanan laughed. "I am strong, clever, and brave. Nothing can harm me, old man." That very night, Hanan's sister Zara had a terrible dream where Hanan was surrounded by his friends holding sharp weapons. But Hanan laughed and waved them away. "Zara, I am strong, clever, and brave. Nothing can harm me, and I am not staying home because of a dream." The next day, Hanan went to the palace despite the warnings. He trusted his friends completely. The jealous friends were waiting at the palace. As soon as he entered, they surrounded him with sharp weapons. Shocked, Hanan realized that his ambition, pride, and blind trust had led him into danger. One after the other, they all stabbed him and left him in a pool of blood. Even his bravery and cleverness could not save him. The town mourned the loss of a young man who dreamed of power, and Zara wept, wishing her brother had listened to her warnings. Always rise with humility, not arrogance. Trust wisely, but pay attention to warning signs. Thank you.
Nice story. I like the gestures. But please, next time when you're going around, you take your time so that you don't fall. Okay. Take your time. Just take your time. Okay. We are waiting for you. You take a step and then, okay. But it was nice. I like your tone. That's the nature of your story and your tone really worked very well. And I would advise that you keep it up. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nihal Suleiman. I am 9 years old, and my nominee code is YP14, a learner from Rising Child Academy. Today, I'm coming to tell you a story entitled The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young shepherd boy. His job was to always take his sheep up the hill to go and graze. One day, he sent his sheep up the hill to go and graze. He went there and he thought it would be fun to play a trick to the villagers. So he played a trick to the villagers. Wolf, wolf. The villagers came up the hill to come and help him. So when the villagers went, they saw no wolf there. Secondly, he came back again. Wolf, wolf. The villagers went up the hill. No one was there, and the sheep were eating calmly. He went up the When the villagers left, he went up the hill again. Wolf, wolf. There is a wolf really attacking me.
Please help me. The villagers said, No, no, we aren't going there again. He's still playing us that trick. Thank you.
Thank you. So I was still trying to get the boy who cried wolf and also in connection to the moral, but all I can say is that try and work on how you can engage your audience. Okay, you have a nice story, but you couldn't engage us to what enjoy it. But it's a nice story. Okay.
Long, long time ago in the animal kingdom, there was a famine. Most of the animals took lean and they even started to die, except the birds. One day, the tortoise went to ask, Why are all the animals dying except you guys? So the tortoise asked, What's your secret? Tell me, I don't want to die. But the birds did not want to tell him because of how cunning and greedy the tortoise was. The tortoise kept on pleading and pleading, and they finally told him, There's always a feast up in the heavens to whoever can get there. But the tortoise just realized, how is he going to get there without any feathers? So he pleaded with all the birds to give him a feather, and they agreed. Before they left, they asked him, What's your ceremonial name? What's your ceremonial name? So that when you get there, you'll be addressed by it. He thought and he said, My ceremonial name is every one of you. When they got there, they were greeted by the host of the heavens. The host reminded them that this food is for every one of you. Before they digged in, the tortoise reminded them of his name, that his name is every one of you. So that means the food belongs to him alone. The tortoise got really angry and took their feathers from him. The tortoise was able to plead with one of the bears to tell his wife that they should bring the softest material in the house. When the bird got to the tortoise's house, the bird changed the whole statement and said, Your husband said you should bring the hardest materials in the house. When the tortoise saw his wife arranging the materials, he was assured that if he jumps, he won't get hurt. He leaped from the heavens, crashing into the hard materials, breaking his shell. He went to the best healer in town, but they couldn't fix it. Till this day, he still has a broken shell that his greed caused him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, please stop playing with your dress, okay? That's why you are supposed to use your hands. Do you understand? When they brought the food, you say everybody, so that you'll be busy with the hands and then you will not show us everything under your dress, okay? So next time, be mindful of how you use your hands on stage. Thank you very much. That was a nice story.
My name is Clenam Adeti. I am 8 years old. I am in grade 4. Today, I am coming to narrate a story entitled Beauty. If someone had told her jealousy can make girls dig a hole just to bury her, she would have laughed. Her name, Beauty. Though in a small village, people called her Beauty. She was her parents' only child. They weren't rich, just humble farmers. Life wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful until others' opinions started shaping her reality. Until others' opinions started shaping her reality. Whenever she passed the village square, she would hear people giggle. She would hear people giggle about her. One afternoon, when she was going to fetch water at the stream, she heard three girls giggle about her. That see how she was like she owns the village. Beauty, beauty, see how she works, like she owns the village. Beauty thought if being beautiful is a curse. Now that now that now that three girls made beauty their daily topic. When now that three girls made beauty Now the three girls made beauty their daily topic. When she was now the three girls made her their daily now the three girls her made her their daily topic. Things the next day things changed that the prince was ready to choose a wife. The village felt excited. Beauty started practicing her dance moves. The three girls planned that they should dig a hole so that they will put Beauty inside the hole. Beauty then the next day, the three girls went to Beauty's house and pleaded. They are sorry. They want to be friends. They were friends for a while. The next grand morning, the Beauty decided to follow the three girls. Beauty decided to follow the three girls. On their way, one of the girls told them they should pass the forest, that is smoother. They passed there and reached the pit. They pushed Beauty inside the pit. Beauty screamed. The three girls looked down and burst into laughter and went. They went to the palace, and the next morning, the hunter preparing to hunt heard a loud scream and followed the voice. He saw Beauty in the pit. He saved Beauty and gave her water. To drink. He sent Beauty to the palace and narrated everything to the king. The king was furious and gathered all the villagers. He called the three girls in front. And told them, "Do you know her?" They said, "No, they know them. They know her, but they are not friends." The king was so furious and asked them they should say the truth. One of the girls whispered and said, We are sorry. We were just jealous. Our mother said we should be more than her." The king called the guards and told them they should lock up the three girls. The prince lifted Beauty and told the villagers, I have found my wife. And she will be my wife forever. The villagers celebrated. The villagers celebrated. The villagers celebrated. The villagers celebrated with the prince and Beauty. The three girls were disappointed, and the hunter was rewarded. Beauty's Disney moral lesson: never let jealousy take the side of you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Akila Mohammed Rabi Idris, and I am come to talk about a story entitled Beauty. Beauty Does Not Last. Once upon a time, there lived a girl called Beauty, and like her name, she was beautiful. She was the most beautiful girl in the village of Mangwasi.
She loved wearing colorful and beautiful dresses. She was so beautiful that birds and butterflies would fly over her every time they saw her. But just as a coin has two sides, everyone has two sides, the good and the bad. Even though she was beautiful, she was also prideful, and the pride came from her beauties, and that gave her too much faith. Men loved beauty and they wanted her for a wife. Days passed and Beauty saw she was lonely. She wanted someone to share her dreams and heart wishes with. Therefore, she refused to marry Mr. John due to his disloyalty. Her mother warned her, saying she is too proud of herself. If she did not stop it, no one will marry her. But she never listened. She thought beauty was everything. After some time, her beauty dries away like a flower, and men stopped coming to ask her for her hand in marriage. Beauty for the rest of her life lived alone without getting married. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Mohamed Awa Alkas. My code is YPS. I am here to tell you a very interesting story called The Valley for Time. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Dawa who loved play all day and avoided his chores. One day, he met an old man who was busy planting seed in his garden. Curiously, Awa asked, "Why are you working so hard?" The old man smiled and said, "Time is like a river. It flows away and never returns. Each moment he wasted is like a seed that will never grow." Awa thought about it and knew he had been wasting his precious time. He decided to make each day count, balancing his fun with his responsibilities. Years later, Awa became successful and happy. Awa was grateful for the lesson he had learned. He understood that time once lost could never be regained, and that each moment was a gift to be cherished. Moral lesson I learned from this story is time is money. So follow YPS student. Let's value time. Thank you.
Give us your story then.
Panel of judges, special guests, fellow YPS contestants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Kwesi Ensunami Abwaji Esel is my name, with the code YP23. And I want to tell you a story with the title Yes You Can. A story that reminds us that greatness sometimes comes from the places we least expect. Once in a small town, Akwemu Enesu here in Ghana, there lived a boy named Ensunami. He was born with a defect in his right leg. It was shorter than the other. His parents, who were farmers, often worried about his future. The people in town mocked him, calling him one again. His father would say, "What good will come out of this boy?" His mother cried helpless. His friend told him, "Sports are not meant for people like you." But the tsunami had a big heart, a heart that didn't understand the word can't. Every afternoon after school, when other children ran home to play football, and Tsunami would watch the high jumpers, he loved how they ran, lifted and flew over the bar like birds. Something inside him whispered, "What good will come out of this boy?" Once the school organized an inter-school sport competition, and Tsunami would beg to join the high jump. Some teachers protest he can't do it, but the PE teacher replied, "Let's give him a chance." The field was silent when it was his turn. Then Tsunami jumped. He didn't just clear the bar, he cleared every doubt, every whisper, every laughter that followed him for years. The crowd went wild. The field was silent. His father ran to the field and carried him with pride. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Yes, you can. Thank you.
selfie that changed everything. Once upon a time, in a bright city where busy streets were and bright screens, there lived a girl named Ewenami, meaning God has done it for me. But Ewenami decided that name was too local, too old-fashioned. So she rebranded herself as Jen Mouse, because you know, Jen for Generation Z, and Mouse because she believed she was destined to go far. Hey! Every morning before school, she would stand in front of her mirror, tilt her head and say, "Good morning, world. You are lucky to have me." Click. At lunchtime, she would take a picture of her with her food. Hashtag healthy life. Click. Even when she goes for jogging, she will stop every 5 minutes to post a mid-run. Hashtag fitness queen. Click. But my friends, the funny thing is, Jen Mars actually never finished the run, never ate the healthy food, and her studies, let's just say her grades are on airplane mode. Online, she looked perfect, but in reality, she looked tired, lonely, and running out of battery, both on her phone and in her heart. But guess what? One day, her school announced a campaign called Unfiltered Week, where everyone had to post one honest photo. No filters, no fake smiles, just real life. Jen Mouse laughed. Real life? Who wants to see that? But her best friend Adam nagged her and said, "Come on, Mouse, be brave. Let them see the real you." So for the first time ever that night, Jen Mouse posted a picture of herself, messy hair, puffy eyes, no makeup, and she tagged under softly, "Sometimes I'm not okay, but I am learning to be real." And she posted it. Then she waited. 10 minutes later, no likes. 20 minutes, one heart. 30 minutes later, ping, a comment popped up. "Thank you so much. I thought I was the only one who felt this way." Her eyes widened, and another comment came, and another, and another. Soon her post was flooded with so many messages from classmates, strangers, even from her teachers. That night, for the first time, Jen Mouse didn't feel the need to post any longer. She whispered to herself and smiled quietly. Sometimes being raw is the best filter after all. From that day, Ewenami, yes, her real name, still took pictures, but not to show off, but to show who she truly was. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, fellow YPS contestants, in a world full of filters and fake perfection, being real is the most powerful thing you can be. Because true confidence isn't about how many likes you get, it's about how much you like yourself. My name is Caitlin, YP17. Thank you.
So what I was doing throughout your story was I had closed my eyes because you're using very descriptive words. I wanted to see myself when they like their hearts and all those things. So that makes an amazing story. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah Nicole Wilson. I am 9 years old. My YPS code is 42. The title of my story is Ajo and the Black Cloth. Once in a small village where the air smelled of fresh earth and shea cheese, there lived a cheerful little girl named Ajo. She lived with her mother and her father, and their home was full of laughter, songs, and fresh food cooking on the fire. Everyone said, "That family shines like the morning sun." But one day, something very sad happened. Ajo's mother fell ill, and before the sun set, she was gone. Everyone in the village wept, but no one cried as much as Ajo. Her heart felt broken like a calabash dropped on the ground. Her father held her close and said, "My daughter, we must trust God. He will help us too." Years passed, and Ajo grew into a quiet, gentle girl. Her father remarried, hoping to bring joy back to their home. But the stepmother was unkind. She would make Ajo wake up at 3 in the morning to fetch water, sweep the yard, and wash clothes. Whilst her children played, Ajo worked. She often went to school hungry, yet she was still the best in her class. In the night, she looked at the moon and whispered, "God, please, I just want to see my mother again." One evening, her stepmother called her with a wicked smile. "Ajo, take this black cloth and go to the river and wash it until it becomes white. You must not eat or sleep until it becomes white as snow." Ajo's heart sank. She knew black cloth could never become white, but she obeyed and went to the river. She scrubbed and scrubbed until her hands bled.
Then she sang softly the song her mother used to sing to her. Make up a JJVLO Toboli. Make up Favili Zamenamu. The moon climbed high and Ado whispered through her tears, Mother, I'm tired. Then from the quiet night she heard a gentle voice, Ado, my child. Then she looked up and there stood her mother, shining like moonlight. Don't cry, she said. Your faith has reached heaven. Then she touched the cloth and instantly it became white as snow. Ado gasped, the impossible has happened. Her mother smiled and said, Kindness and faith are the light that no darkness can put out. Then she faded away, leaving the white cloth in Ajo's hands. When Ajo returned home, everyone was speechless. From that day, everyone in the village said Ajo's heart is pure. Even the heavens know her name. The moral lesson of this story is kindness and faith are the light that no darkness can put out. And love, especially a mother's love, never dies. Thank you.
It was amazing. I like the props. You see that thing that you did there? So you've lifted the band very high. In fact, I don't know what to tell you. What's the title of your story? And the black cloth. So next time you change this one to black cloth. Okay. Uh-huh. It was amazing. You did so well. You were on point. See the fact that you're able to memorize all that and then delivered it. You did so well. You watched, you engaged the audience. You are good, my dear. Keep it up.
The girl who walked through rivers. Once upon a time, a baby girl was born, the very first daughter of her parents. Her smile lit up the whole house, but fate, my friends, had a different plan. At just 9 months old, her father decided to let his little girl go and stay in the village with her grandmother. So, the baby girl was carried from the bright city lights of Accra to a quiet village where nights were ruled by lanterns and mornings began with the crows of roosters and the songs of rivers. The girl grew up thinking her grandmother was her mother. There was no electricity, no proper schools, and there was only one track called Cholore that comes to the village once a week. In the village, you don't just start school by age. You have to reach your hand over your head, and if it touches your opposite ear, you are ready for school. Her grandmother taught her how to pray, to sing hymns, and to trust in God. Every morning she walked to school, crossing rivers barefoot. Even when the waters rose high during the rainy season, she still crossed, bathed in the lush stream, dressed up neatly, and walked into class as if she was coming from a palace. Her parents visited the village sometimes, but strangely, they never took her back. She finished basic school with poor grades, not because of lack of brains, but because life had been unkind. But then one day, her uncle came to the village, saw her struggle, and took her back to the city. But the father had no affection. She moved from one relative to the other, but she still didn't give up. With extra classes and determination, she rewrote her story and passed with flying colors, even developing a love for mathematics and technical skills. But her father sent her to go and learn plumbing in a school full of boys. Heartbroken, she cried, but she looked in the mirror and said, If no one believes in me, I'll still believe in myself. Later, she gained admission into a secondary school. Well, even though she was placed in home economics, clothing, and textiles, she said, If I can't build houses, I'll design garments. If I can't draw buildings, I'll create beauty in other ways. So she learned fashion designing, trained as a secretary, and a degree in human resource management, and later a master's in insurance. Now today, the same girl that walked through rivers is now an accomplished HR professional, insurance broker, interior designer, and events planner. Before I end the story, take a good look at me. Do you see this elegance, this grace, this confidence? Well, it wasn't just there, because the same woman who walked through rivers, who turned pain into purpose, is my mother. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you begin, your journey always has a purpose. Every river you cross only makes you stronger. My name is Kyla Irama and I am YP27. Thank you.
All right. So I want to say that it's a good story, but I was looking for something. I was looking for how do you call it? The voices of the characters, but it didn't look like that. So I was now trying to find out, are we dealing with characters or we are dealing with something? Then later I realized that no, this is talking to a mother, and that is what I'm very glad about. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kira Puno. I am 7 years old. My nominee code is YP48. The title of my story is The Ant and the Grasshopper. One bright summer day in a green meadow, a grasshopper was hopping about, singing, chirping happily. He spent his days playing music and enjoying the warm sunshine. As he sang, he noticed an ant passing by, carrying a heavy grain of corn. The ant was working hard, dragging the grain towards its nest. Why are you working so hard on such a lovely day? Asked the grasshopper. Come and sing with me instead. There's plenty of food around. Why waste your time storing it? The ant stopped for a moment and said, I am storing food for the winter. When it will be cold, there will be nothing to eat. You should do the same. The grasshopper laughed, ha ha ha, and replied, Winter is far away. There's plenty of time to worry later. Let's enjoy today. And so the ant went back to work while the grasshopper kept singing and dancing under the sun. Soon winter came, and the flies were bare. Snow covered the ground, and there were no more green leaves or insects to eat. The grasshopper was now hungry and freezing. He had no food, no shelter, and no music left in his heart. So he went to the ant's house and knocked on the door. Please, kind ant, give me something to eat. I am starving, begged the grasshopper. The ant looked at him and said, All summer long I worked hard while you sang. Now you can dance the winter away. The ant shut the door, leaving the grasshopper to think about his foolishness. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Guinevere Rusquansa, a 7-year-old girl from Rising Child Academy. My nominee code is YP5. I am here to tell a story titled The Old Tree's Gift. Say after me. The Old Tree's Gift. In a small village, there was a beautiful old tree named Oakley. Oakley had stood tall for centuries, watching generations of families grow and thrive. One harsh winter, a young girl named Lily lost her home in a fire. Oakley saw beautiful Lily crying and wanted to help. Oakley opened its hollow trunk, inviting Lily to take shelter. Over time, Lily and Oakley became inseparable friends. Oakley shared wisdom and Lily shared her laughter. But as winter ended, Oakley began to weaken. Its branches grew frail and its leaves faded. Lily was devastated. She begged Oakley to stay but knew its time was limited. In its final moments, Oakley whispered to Lily, My dear, I may be an old tree, but my love for you will live forever. As Oakley fell, Lily wept, feeling a piece of her heart is gone. But she remembered Oakley's words and knew their bond would remain forever. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janelle and my nominee code is YP13. Today, I want to share a story entitled The Color They Couldn't See. On a bright Monday morning, Kofi walked into his new school full of dreams and excitement. But as soon as he entered, the laughter stopped. His classmates stared, whispered, and avoided him, all because his skin was darker than theirs. Lonely and hurt, Kofi sat under a tree every lunch break, reading quietly and fighting back tears. The teachers were kind, but the loneliness grew heavy. Then one day, Grace dropped her lunch near him. Kofi helped her pick it up and she smiled.
That simple act of kindness grew into a friendship that changed everything. Slowly, others began to understand. They reached out to Kofi, learning that kindness matters more than color. Years later, Kofi stood tall on a big stage, his graduation day. He looked at all the faces before him, people of all colors, all smiling. With teary eyes, he said, I once thought my color made me less, but today my color is beauty and love. The crowd stood up and clapped for him, not because he was different, but because the boy had taught them all to see the color they once ignored. Thank you.
Panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, dear parents, and my fellow YPS contestants, I greet you all. My name is Sabi Ibrahim with the YP code 26. Today, I am here to share you my story. The Fallen World as my title. A girl called Amma lived with her mom in a village called Susa. It is a farming village near the great river Unambi. Amma and her mom were farming one day when she fell and was rushed to the town clinic. At first, everyone said it was just a fever, but days turned into weeks, and the visit to the clinic became more frequent. Amma stopped playing with her friends after school. Instead, she would rush home, prepare food, and carry it to the clinic. Each evening, she would sit by her mother's bed, holding her hands, listening to her slow breathing and the quiet hum of the machine. Her mother's once bright eyes were tired now, but she still smiled every time Amma walked in. One evening, as the sun set, painted the sky orange through the small window, her mother whispered, Amma, come closer. Amma leaned in, her heart racing. You are such a strong girl, her mother said softly. Promise me something. Ama's voice trembled. What, ma? Promise me you'll keep smiling even when it hurts. Don't let the darkness change your heart. Ama nodded, biting her lips to stop the tears. A few minutes later, the room fell silent. The machine stopped beeping. The nurse came in and quietly put the white sheet over her mother's face. Ama's throat collapsed into tears. For days, she couldn't eat nor sleep. The room fell silent. The laughter, the stories, even the smell of her mother's cooking were gone. One morning, she walked into the garden, saw the yellow flowers planted their mother planted. That's when it hit her. She fell to her knees and until she had no tear left. At touching one flower, it fell from a tear rolled down her cheek, but she smiled this time. Her mother was right. Even in pain, there was still light. Thank you.
My name is Latifa Bashiru. I am YP11. The title of my story is Amma and the Talking Drum. Once upon a time in a small village in Ghana, there lived a cheerful little girl named Amma. Amma loved music more than anything in the world. Every morning, she could dance to the sound of the bass and clap her hands to the rhythm of the wind. One day, whilst walking to school, Amma heard a strange sound coming from the forest. Doom, doom, doom. She followed the sound and found a beautiful drum shining under a big baobab tree. Amma touched the drum and suddenly it spoke. Hello, Amma. I am the talking drum. I can make a music. But only if you promise to share with others. Amma smiled brightly. I promise, she said. The drum began to play the sweetest beat. Amma danced, sang, and as soon all the children from the village joined her. From that day, Amma used the talking drum to bring her happiness. At wherever she went, at school, at home, and even at the market. Everyone called her Ama the Joy Bringer. And every time the drum play, the village filled with smile, moral lessons. Happiness grows when you share with others.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nafisa Alasan Lari, and my nominee code is YP34. The title of my story is The Garden of Friendship. Once in a small village, nestled between rolling hills, there lived an elderly man named Samuel. He was known for his beautiful garden, which bloomed with vibrant flowers of every color. Each year, during spring, the children from the village come to help him tend to the garden. The children from the village come to help him tend to the garden, eagerly awaiting the day the flowers will burst into life. One sunny afternoon, a young girl named Jasmine decided to visit him. She found him sitting on a wooden bench, a tender smile on his sweated face as he pruned the roses. She gathered courage and said, "Mr. Samuel, can I help you today?" He welcomely nodded, and together they worked side by side and planted marigolds and daisies. Samuel shared stories on how each flower has a particular unique meaning. Jasmine listened intently, her eyes wide with wonder, especially when he told her about the sunflowers that turned their faces towards the sun, symbolizing hope and positivity. Weeks passed, their bond grew stronger. Someone found joy in Jasmine's laughter, and Jasmine discovered wisdom in Samuel's tale. But one day, Samuel's health began to decline. He struggled to walk, and the sparkle in his eyes dimmed. Jasmine noticed the change, and she felt a heaviness in her heart. Determined to lift his spirit, she organized a village gathering in the garden. With the help of her friends, she decorated the place with colorful banners made from paper and flowers they cultivated together. The villagers were enchanted by the sight and filled the garden with laughter, music, and shared stories. As someone watched the joy around him, a smile returned to his face. He realized the love he sowed with the flowers had bloomed in the heart of his village. He, he realized the love he had sown with the village. He realized the love he had sowed with the flowers had blossomed in the heart of his village. That night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, someone gathered all the children and said, "You had made this old man the happiest on earth. Remember, just like these flowers, you bring joy and colors. You bring colors and joy to this world. Keep growing and let your heart bloom." Weeks later, summer passed peacefully, but the garden lived on. Jasmine and her friends continued to care for it, ensuring each plant flourished, a symbol of love, hope, and the legacy of a beautiful friendship that will last forever. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today, allow me to take you on a journey filled with hope, passion, and determination. Meet Ikia, a young girl who lost her eyesight at the age of 10 in a tragic accident. Her, growing up in a society where disability was often seen as limitation, Ikia's parents were told that she would never live a normal childhood, but Ikia had other plans. The, with the With, with the involvement of the community and parents, Eka learned to navigate the world in a different way. She mastered Braille, found a passion in music, and excelled in her studies. Years later, Eka became a renowned Ghanaian artist. She used her platform to create she used her platform to create a disabled
rights protest. Her first hit song was Madame Fou, where it became an anthem for most disabled people. Ikea, whenever Ikea was asked about her disability, she would often say, disability is not inability, it's just a different ability. The moral of my story is passion and purpose can overcome adversity. Ikea's passion for music helped her cope with her disability. My name is Ritnate, my YPS code 55. The title of my story is Disability is Not Inability. Thank you.
Good morning, good people of Ghana, judges, peoples, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ajoy Nkunim Dantawachi with the unique code YP44. Today, I am come to say a story, and the title of my story is The Evil Egg Seller. Once upon a time, in the village, there lived a woman called Chiamaka. She sells eggs at the market. Her eggs were beautiful and cheaper than any of the egg sellers in the market. There was a guy who suspected Chiamaka called Obina. He secretly followed Chiamaka to the forest and knew her evil plan. The next day, Obina went to the market to comfort the market people that stop eating her eggs. Her eggs are evil and full of germs. Then the market people did not believe Obina and thought he was drunk. So Obina went home and saw his mother had boiled 2 crates of Chiamaka's eggs. He told his mother that these eggs are not good, they are evil, and Chiamaka had chanted on the eggs. His mother said, I don't believe you, you are telling me lies. And his mother also added, go and sleep. The next day, he decided to go to the chief to comfort the chief, and it seems like even the chief is under Chiamaka's control. The chief said, what is your problem, Obina, and why have you returned this early morning? Obina said, I am here to warn you of Chiamaka's plan. She makes evil eggs. Chiamaka heard her name in the conversation. Then she came and said, why are you fighting me? And Chiamaka and Obina said, I am coming to tell you that stop your evil plans. Then Chiamaka told the reason of her action. Then she said that when my husband died, you blamed me, so I want to cause you guys pain too. The moral lesson is that do not cause people pain. When you are wrong, apologize because they can hurt you too. Thank you.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lukman Ibrahim. Today, I would like to share a story about the little tree's big dream. Once upon a time in a small forest, there was a little tree called Timmy. Timmy wanted to be the tallest tree in the forest. He stretched his branches and stood on his tiptoes, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't go any taller. One day, a little owl came on his branch and asked, what is your dream, little tree? Timmy shared his desire of being the tallest tree in the forest. The owl listened carefully and said, being tall is great, but what if you use your small size to help others? Timmy thought for a moment and realized he could provide shade for tiny creatures, offer a cozy spot for birds to nest, and even help plants grow around him. This tree Timmy thought for a moment and realized this is all he could do for things, and he was proud of what he could do and who he was. As time passed, Timmy became known as the kindest tree in the forest. Animals would snuggle up in his trunk. Birds would sing sweet melodies from his branches, and animals would bloom around him. This story is about self-acceptance, kindness, and finding one's purpose. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful day with the children. Today happens to be the story day. and we have listened to so many stories, and we've taken a lot of moral lessons. But to every competition, there's a winner, and there's someone who will go home and enjoy his or her mistakes. So today, I have the singular honor to give some people an award, and that is, let's call these people so that we appreciate their work for today. YP13. Let's clap for them when they come. Okay, YP13. Congratulations. So come this way. This way. And then you shake. Congratulations. You've done really well. So you can go back and sit down. Okay, let's welcome YP44. YP44. Congratulations, you have also done so well. You have really done so well. Okay, let's welcome YP55. You have also done so well. Let's welcome YP34. YP34. You have also done well. You have also done well. Let's clap for them. So, sit here. We really have to appreciate every effort that every child puts in whatever they do. From day one up till now, it's a big journey. And it's something that nobody, or as a parent in the house, I'm sure you will fumble. But these children have gotten to this far. And this is amazing time too. We have some best stories for today. And that is, today we're looking at the content, how creative that person will be, the delivery, and then we will also look at every child who did all this. And we came to a conclusion that the best person who did so well in delivery is YP27. Let's clap for YP27. All right. So YP27, stand here with me, and then you turn. And then the best content creator for today is YP15. YP15. Her content was on point. And then to top it all, the overall best for today is YP26. YP26. Okay, to our judges who care so much about their children and want them to always go far, they have also added YP23, who also did so well. Wow. So, by the grace of God, these are the best authors that we had today. And we are going to try our best to publish their books. It's up to the parents to also support these ones for us to publish their books. And this is done by Kate Consult. So Kate Consult is a consortium that helps children to publish their books. And you can look for them on all the social media handles. They will help you publish your words book. And you never go wrong with Mr. Dia. Let's clap for them again. So this is where we draw the curtain for today. See you same time at the Kids Parliament, where the children talk about things that are happening in our constituency, in our country, which we need to solve. See you at the Kids Parliament.